morning, everyone. Vloggy Poncho here, back with another episode of my daily vlog. Today is Sunday, January 13th, and I'm weighing in 184 pounds today. Big dinner last night. Olive Garden is probably my favorite restaurant. Breadsticks, out the wazoo, man. So many breadsticks. So good. So today's meals, nothing too exciting. I actually have leftovers from Olive Garden, so I'm having that for lunch, so just some spaghetti. And then I have a dinner appointment tonight, so I'll be out at, I forget where. Anyway, so my meal's basically already chosen. I just had a spicy breakfast for breakfast. Spicy brekkie. Oh, goal progress. That's the next checkpoint. Well, you may have noticed there's not a big empty room behind me. I put a wall in, actually. I didn't like having so much space behind me when I was making my videos, so I went and talked to the maintenance guys. I put in a work order, and they built a wall for me. Right here in the middle of my room. Not really. Okay, check this out. So I did a new... Oh, here comes the shaky hands. A new floor plan for myself here. So I got two areas. I got the bed, sort of the living room over here, which I think turned out really well. I got my TV. I guess I can put in my TV, my fridge, my bookshelf, my couch. And then over there, I have... Back in the corner there, I have my Chester drawers over by the window, and then the bed, and the closet. So the room is the same room, except I've now split it up into different components here. And we now have a video corner over here, right behind the door, basically, when you come in the room. It's up here now. Is this new wall that I have oriented so we can put stuff on this wall. I don't know what yet, but there will be stuff on this wall. Probably there will be some stuff on this wall in this video. Alrighty then, on to today's topic. I saw a video by the YouTuber theJWittz. Or I think it's YouTube, it might actually be theJWittz. One way or the other. He does all kinds of Pokemon videos, and he did a video on his top 10 favorites. So I was kind of inspired by that. I'll put a link to that video in the description. And I decided I wanted to make a top 10 video about Pokemon myself, so here it is, my top 10 personal favorite Pokemon. Now these are chosen for a lot of different reasons. You'll hear throughout the list. They're not just from a particular game or anime series or something. It's all around the Pokemon universe, essentially. So let's see, where do we start here? First one, number 10. So I'm going to go from 10 up to 1 being my favorite. Number 10, Ferrothorn. You might not be surprised to see this Pokemon on the list because I used it in my Let's Play Black. Actually, no, it was a white version. I used it, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, the reason that Ferrothorn shows up on this list is because it's the only defensive Pokemon that I've ever liked. When I play Pokemon, I'm very much about fast hits and hard offense and really just wiping the other team out before they have a chance to do anything. That's how I like to win. So choosing a Pokemon that has 30 base speed is just weird for me, but I don't know why, something about the strategy, how it is just designed so well to be that defensive wall, and the fact that it uses its horribly slow speed to get Gyro Ball going, and that it learns Curse, and just, it all comes together so well, and its natural defenses with the Iron Barbs, all these things come together, and the fact that it's a grass type, I never use grass types. They're the crummiest type. I've empirically discovered that for myself, that grass types are the worst type. If you just compare the types to each other, not thinking about the context of the universe. Anyway, Ferrothorn shows up on this list because he's the only grass type, defensive type Pokemon that I've ever decided I wanted to use on my team. Up next at number 9 is Garchomp. Now you might think, hey, Garchomp's awesome. Why isn't it higher on the list? Well, for me, the pseudo-legendaries, they're all kind of overpowered, honestly. But I like Garchomp because he does kick ass, and he's pretty much leading my team in the Let's Battle Blaze Black series. And the real reason that I like having Garchomp on this list is because it reminds me of that old SNL skit with the landshark.
Telegram.
Oh, telegram, just a moment.
I never saw it, of course, when it came out, which was 1974 or something like that, but I think the sketch is hilarious, and every time I think of Garchomp, I think of Landshark. Alright, number 8, Heracross. I like this because there are a lot of bugs in the world that actually battle each other, like Darwin's Beetle. There'll be a link in the description to a hilarious video about Darwin's Beetle. This is a really... the Darwin's Beetle is that's a really funny video I'm going to link. And I like Heracross because it reminds me of that. It's a fighting bug, and just... Again, it's about my association. Every time I think of Heracross, I think of the video in the description with the Darwin's Beetle, and it's freaking great. Here's a little clip.
And here she is at last. But she doesn't seem to be in the mood.
There's a lot more where that came from. Alright, moving on to number 7, Houndoom. It was not the like. It's the first off, the typing. It's fire and dark. Probably some of my two favorite types. They're up in the top of the list for me, fire and dark. And the combination of them into this sort of astral dog is very cool. I'm definitely a dog person. I don't know. I'll have a video eventually about the dogs versus cats debate, but it's kind of overplayed at this point. But I'm definitely a dogs person. And I remember in Gen 2 finding out about Houndoom, and the dark types were a new thing then. So I was like, wow. Playing Silver version, I got a Houndoom. It was like, oh yeah. It was great. One of my favorite Pokemon, Generation 2. Alrighty, moving on to number 6, Nidoking. Now, Nidoking, whatever you want to say. This, for me, I sort of think of it as like the patriarch of Generation 1 Pokemon. And back in Generation 1, before I really understood how the stats and things worked, Nidoking seemed like a bad-ass powerhouse Pokemon. Come to discover recently that its stats are relatively crummy compared to the Pokemon in the newer generations, but at the time it was a contender. And the fact that it was so often used by, I believe Giovanni had one, sort of made it, gave it this, what's the word? It was sort of intimidating, and sort of an intimidating Pokemon, where it was I associated it at least with being used by Team Rocket and being sort of a bad Pokemon, which makes sense because it was part poison type. It all comes together. Alright, going back to Gen 2 for number 5, Quilava. Quilava is definitely my favorite Generation 2 Pokemon. I mean, even above Houndoom. It's such a cool creature. It's like a stoat with fire on it. It's just this slender, ferret-like critter I think the idea is very well designed. It looks like it belongs in the Pokemon universe. And some Pokemon just don't. But Quilava does. And it's just, it comes back to, for me, it's getting up a little higher on the list, number 5, because of a memory I have about Quilava. The first time I played through Silver version, I started with Cyndaquil, right? And I got through to Whitney, and her Miltank was using Rollout and crushing my whole team over and over again. And so I said, you know what? I'm not going to take this anymore. So I went outside of town, and I leveled up my Quilava, and I overpowered the crap out of my Quilava, over-leveled it. And then I took it back in there, and Quilava swept her whole team, and it was like, overcame adversity, right? Like all the great NFL teams, they say, you're able to overcome adversity. Anyway, so it comes back to me just remembering that story of how I beat Whitney's Miltank with my Quilava, despite the rollout obnoxiousness and the fact that it was a rock type super effective on Quilava. It came through and really kicked ass. And then I enjoyed its further form, Typhlosion as well, but not as much as Quilava because it had that memory for me of beating Whitney's Miltank. Oops, I forgot to put it number 4. It's Charizard. Why? Because it's fucking Charizard. Onward to number 3, Palpitoad. There's only one reason I like Palpitoad.
What the hell is that thing? Oh god, look at its head wiggle. Oh Jesus. Come on, do it again. Palpitoad. You're like, whoa. I whip my head back and forth.
What else can I say? It makes me laugh every time I think about it. I can't even... I'm going to start laughing if I start talking about it too much. I gotta move on. Number 3, yeah. Moving on to number 2, Jigglypuff. Might be surprised to see this one on the list because it's sort of... It's a Pokemon I've never used in any of the Pokemon games, but it's one of my favorite characters to play in Super Smash Bros. Melee. And I understand it got horribly nerfed in Brawl, but I don't play Brawl. I still play Melee with my friends every now and then, and I love pulling out Jigglypuff and just the fact that you can kill. JWittz mentioned the same thing that I never thought about before, but the fact that you can kill people by resting and just sleeping on them is freaking hilarious. What other Pokemon can do that? And Jigglypuff also has the added benefit for me of being a sort of a well-known character in the Pokemon anime. And it was one of the few Pokemon that actually had a developed personality beyond just liking Ash and wanting to battle. You know, so Jigglypuff had a personality and became more of a character than just another Pokemon. And that's why it's all the way up at number 2. Moving on to number 1, my favorite Pokemon. Can you guess? You can probably guess. Pikachu. Now you might think, hey, well that's kind of trite. Poncho, I thought you were more unique than this. You're gonna pick Pikachu as your favorite? I got a lot of reasons, and I think they're good ones. The first thing I want to point out is that Pikachu is one of the very few Pokemon that has access to a stat-increasing item that's unique to its species, the Light Ball. The Light Ball was introduced in Generation 2, and it's a hold item that, when it's held by a Pikachu, doubles Pikachu's attack and special attack. Now that's pretty freaking cool. And if you were to wanted to carry through if you wanted to beat a game without using fully evolved Pokemon, getting a Pikachu with a Light Ball would be a crucial addition to your team. And that's something that I've considered doing before, is trying to do an unevolved run. And starting with going up to only mid-tier Pokemon. Light Ball Pikachu would definitely be included with that. And then, the anime persona of Pikachu. How can you not... Okay, the first episode the thing that comes to mind immediately is the Showdown in Dark City, with Pikachu and the ketchup. This episode was hilarious, and it was one of the few episodes that I was lucky enough to actually see on TV as a kid. I didn't get to see the anime very often, so I didn't know a whole lot about any of the particular episodes, but this was one that I was lucky enough to see, and it's freaking hilarious. And so, the Pikachu was just so much more than just another Pokemon. Like Jigglypuff, but to a whole nother degree. It was a character on this show. And it wasn't just another tool, another battle implement. It was one of the... if you're going to list the main characters of Pokemon, or the main characters of the show, the anime, that came in from one season to the next, Pikachu's always there. Ash has different companions, but he's always... human companions, but he's always got Pikachu. And his Pokemon come and go, too. But Pikachu freaking sticks around. And even beyond that, going out to sort of the meta of the thing, Pikachu has become this icon for the entire Pokemon franchise. So you simply can't ignore that fact. That Pikachu is the mascot for Pokemon. I mean, whatever generation might be coming out, the new legendaries or X and Y or whatever, and they're just another generation's legendaries. And by the time the next generation after them comes out, they're going to be second rate. They'll be forgotten about. Does anybody even talk about Lugia anymore? No, it was cool at the time, but it faded away. Pikachu is lasting. Pikachu's just there all the time, in all the advertisements, all the commercials and the things, all the shows. Pikachu's ubiquitous to the Pokemon universe, and you can't get away from it, and I really like it. And the real reason that I pick Pikachu as number 1 is because when you watch television shows as a kid, one of the best things about being a kid is being able to use your imagination and to sort of, because it augments all the things that you do for fun as a kid, is being able to imagine that there's more than there actually is. And one of the things that I like to do when I was a kid is I like to imagine what the world would be like if Pokemon were real. This is something that brought me a lot of satisfaction when I was a kid, because it was so cool to think about. It's like, man, wouldn't it be great to not have to go to school and just train Pikachu all day? That was like my fantasy in 3rd grade, was to just be a Pokemon trainer, and I definitely wanted a Pikachu. I'm not going to say, it's definitely because of this show. So, that's just a big memory for me, and I don't know if I've ever really talked about this on Angry Poncho, but, man, I wanted a Pikachu when I was a kid. Alright, so that was my top 10 list of my favorite Pokemon. If you have some Pokemon that you think is just offensive that I omitted in this list, just remember that it's my personal favorites. I'm not saying these are the best Pokemon in battle or in any particular regard. They're just the ones that I like the best. So leave a comment. Tell me which ones you think deserve to be on this list, or if you think I missed one. let me know. What are your favorite Pokemon? That's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.